Can't have a cat? Can't have a dog? Well, how about a Tegu lizard? Here's 5 things I wish I knew before free roaming my Tegu.
Tegus are a highly intelligent species of lizard from South America. They're super affectionate and love people.
Black and white Argentine Tegus, like my boy Dennis here, are some of the best large lizards to keep as pets. Why? They're affectionate, they're loving, they act like a scaly dog. They can survive in habitats from savannas to rainforests. Out there, their favorite things to eat are bird eggs, other lizards, rodents, insects, fruits, and really anything they can get a hold of. This is another reason why they're such great pets. They'll eat almost anything you give to them, and they are not picky about it. As far as big pet lizards go, these guys are the best. They don't have mood swings like iguanas do, and they're not gonna try to eat you like a monitor lizard does. They're much less easily spooked if you work with them. And overall, they're just a pleasure to have around.
In this video, we'll be talking about free roaming, Tegu-proofing your environment, potty training, if free roaming is right for you, and our book.
Tegus are big lizards, and big lizards need a lot of space. The males can hit 5 feet long, and the females stay a little bit smaller at about 3 feet. Regardless, you're gonna need a big enclosure, and sometimes even more than that. That's where free roaming comes in.
Free roaming is when you let an animal roam freely throughout your house, like you would a dog or a cat, having complete control to explore its environment.
A Tegu that is free roam behaves completely different. You might hear a lot of people telling you not to free roam your Tegu, but it's a wonderful experience, especially if you do it correctly. And that's what I'm gonna teach you right now. I don't recommend letting your Tegu have access to all 3 floors of your house. You're gonna wanna isolate them to 1 room or 1 floor, not too big of a space. The reason being is, during normal household activities, you don't wanna step on them. Me, when I started off, I had Dennis in my bedroom. He spent most of his time either under my pillow or under my bed or just crawling around doing his thing. You do not wanna free roam that Tegu until 2 things have been achieved. 1, he's grown to about 1.5 to 2 feet long. You don't want him crawling into the radiators or disappearing in the walls. And secondly, you need to make this animal puppy dog tame. How do we do that? Number 1, just spend time with him. Hold him. Teach him that you're his friend, that you're not a predator just like you would any other reptile. A captive bred Tegu is going to be the best bet for this because they're just more accustomed to people. Secondly, one of the techniques I like to use is hand feeding. Tegus are really smart. So some of them have excessive prey drives. If they do, I would avoid this. The majority of them can easily differentiate your hand from food. Lastly is taking some of your clothing and putting it in their enclosure under their hide. So if you know there's a spot your Tegu loves, like a little burrow or something like that, take a dirty shirt, something you've sweated, something you made a little bit gross, and shove it in there. He's gonna associate that smell with safety, with comfort, and consequentially, he's gonna learn to love you more and feel more comfortable. Once he's comfortable around you, once he's comfortable around footsteps, and he's been exposed to the sounds of children and barking dogs and stuff like that, you can start free roaming your Tegu.
Just because you're letting your Tegu roam freely around your house doesn't mean that you can forego its basic needs, like heat, humidity, and UVB. So you're gonna wanna make it its own little bedroom.
Like any reptile, temperature is number 1. You have your ambient temperature, which is the temperature of your bedroom essentially. You're gonna wanna keep that a little bit above room temperature. I recommend shooting for at least 73 to 75. He needs a basking spot, a place where he will go to thermoregulate. As you know, reptiles are cold-blooded. They can't make their own heat. He has to physically go from cold areas to warm areas to regulate his body temperature.
We leave Dennis's bedroom door open for him so that he can go in and out as he pleases. We also can close the door in case he's making things a little bit too crazy.
Although some people argue that Tegus don't need UVB lighting, I still provide one inside of his little house over here. To create a basking area for Dennis, I use a 125 watt light bulb. He curls up under there. He spends about 2 to 3 hours a day there minimum. I always take a temp gun and I check to make sure we're getting nice and high. I want to make sure that basking spot is about 105 to 110 degrees. This way he can raise his body temperature up enough to digest and metabolize whatever he's got to do. You're also going to want to make sure he has access to fresh water, both inside and outside of his enclosure. This way, if you do have to lock him away for a minute, he can still drink and keep himself hydrated. I also recommend soaking tegus every couple of days or so if you're gonna free roam, just to make sure they don't dehydrate at all.
Tegus are highly curious animals, so here are some things that you're going to want to do to tegu-proof your space and make sure that they're completely safe. Seal any gaps that your tegu might want to squeeze into. Keep any sharp or small fluffy objects that your tegu might want to swallow well out of their reach, and make sure you keep them away from any cats or dogs. It could be a recipe for disaster. Now, is free roaming a good decision? If you Google this question, you're going to run into a lot of different opinions, but the truth is, each tegu is different with its own individual personality.
I love free roaming tegus. I wouldn't have it any other way. First of all, the behavioral differences between a tegu that's free roamed and constantly worked with are totally different than an animal that's kept in an enclosure. You see, free roam tegus, they develop this affection towards people. I mean, Dennis will literally wait until I come home, and when he hears my voice, and my voice only, it's not everybody, he pops out from under where he's hiding and he comes to say hello to me. A tegu that's not free roamed can behave very differently. I want to show you one of them actually. So she's currently coming out of brumation right now, which is when reptiles, go to sleep, their metabolism slows down. She's going to be a little bit groggy, but you'll still be able to see what I mean when I tell you there's a difference in behavior. This is a female albino ice tegu. She was only kept in an enclosure her entire life. She's never been free roaming. She's not nearly as friendly as Dennis. She doesn't enjoy human interactions. She doesn't like being pet, and she certainly doesn't like being picked up. A lot of times she'll jump out of my hands or roll out. The only reason I'm able to talk with her right now is because she only just woke up. She's nervous. She's wiggling around. She's not comfortable around me. It's difficult for me to handle her the same way as I handle Dennis. Like, she tolerates me. She doesn't love me. But the most notable thing is her prey drive. When I come walking by her enclosure, she comes charging at me to eat me. If I wiggle my hand in front of her face too close, she'll try to bite me as well. She's just not acclimated to people the way Dennis is. Dennis could not go back to living in a cage. I've tried it before. You see, I like to put some of my animals outdoors when it's possible to give them that real natural light, extra UVB. And when Dennis is in a cage, he gets really antsy. He gets stressed out and he starts doing what we call the zoo walk, where they're basically walking back and forth and back and forth. He's so accustomed to having free range of his entire environment that if I were to lock him in here like this for good, he'd get really stressed out and he wouldn't survive like that. That's another thing to keep in mind if you're gonna free roam. Once you start it, you might not be able to undo it. Tegus are opportunistic omnivores. They will eat just about anything they can get their mouths around. Rodents, fruit, insects, it's all fair game for a tegu. Now, to keep them nice and healthy, I recommend giving lots and lots of whole prey. What is that? Those are mammals and vertebrates like mice, fish, and chicks. The reason why we want to make sure they eat a lot of this is because when they're living indoors, they do not have exposure to sunlight. Sunlight is what allows reptiles to synthesize D3. D3 is what allows them to utilize calcium to keep their bones strong and prevent diseases like metabolic bone disease from forming. Stick with me here. When they eat an animal like that, they're getting the entirety of all the nutrition in an actual animal in one meal.
Now, I know what you're thinking. This lizard is gonna poop all over my house. But no, don't you worry. We figured out the perfect way to avoid that.
So when I was about 15 years old, I came up with a strategy for potty training a tegu. And it works, you gotta believe me here. So every morning I would pick up Dennis, I would put him in a tub of water. Water, it naturally entices reptiles to go to the bathroom. I did this routinely, same time every single day. Eventually he picked up on the fact that, hey, I don't wanna poop where I live, I'm gonna hold it until I get to go in the tub. Dennis is so smart that he'll actually tell me when he has to go to the bathroom by clawing at my leg or walking around at a very distinct pace. He kind of gets this weird look in his eye like he's gotta go. I can just feel it in my bones. I don't know how to explain it. It's like an animal-human connection, if you know what I mean. Dennis hasn't had an accident in about 6 months, which is better than some toddlers I know. I've had Dennis here since I was 14 years old, and he's been my best buddy ever since. This guy's gone to college with me. He sleeps in bed with me some nights. What are you doing? And He loves affection. I was at a reptile expo and I only had $35 in my pocket. Tegus, they cost about $2.50 at the time. But Dennis was a special case. You see, he has a kinked tail. He was born with this deformity and he was also a bit of a runt. He wasn't in the best shape when I got him. The person who was selling him gave it to me for just the $35 I had because, you know, I was a kid and I really wanted a Tegu. And I told my mother he's gonna stay small. I said, oh, it's as big as he gets. He was a little 6-inch baby at the time. He grew fast. So after that, I raised Dennis up myself and I started free roaming him once he hit about 1.5 feet, 2 feet long. He lived in my bedroom for the first couple of years and it has shown me just how unique and intelligent these animals are. He's my best buddy and that's why I wrote a book about him. Uncle Tony and the Tegu Lizard. Available now on Amazon, link below. And we'll be doing meet and reads with Dennis. We'll come to your local library, classroom, or summer camp with Dennis and read a copy of our book to your class.
It's you.
Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell button below.